In this video, I'm going to show you how to quickly unlock Yasuke and then make him overpowered with legendary gear, like this legendary Teppo that can shoot twice, and this legendary armor that lets you parry any move in the game, and much more. Let's talk about how to quickly unlock him first. After you play as Nawe, you'll get access to the open world. From there, you'll see a quest that's going to require you to head over to the hideout where Tomiko is. You'll go ahead, talk to her, and set up the first building, which is the Kakurega. After that, some cutscenes will play out and you'll get access to an objective board. Now, on that objective board, you're going to notice that there is a main circle that you have to eliminate 2 targets. The first target is going to be the golden Teppo, and the second is going to be the wounded. You have to do their respective quest lines. It doesn't matter which one you do first, but you have to take them out with Nawe. After you take out these 2 targets, you'll then follow the main story and unlock a third objective where you have to take out this target, with the quest title being Temple of the Horsemen. This will go into its own cutscenes, and this is spoiler territory, so I'm not even going to talk more about it, but after it's done, you'll then finally be able to unlock Yasuke, and you could switch to him at any time via the inventory menu. Now that we have Yasuke, let's go ahead and unlock that amazing legendary gear for him. Now, right before we unlock Yasuke, I want to talk about 4 main things to keep note of during this video. First thing is that we'll be focusing specifically on gear that you need to get ASAP. We're not going to dive deep into mechanics on them, just exactly what you need. The second thing is knowledge points are going to be extremely important for unlocking skills that help these weapons and armors perform much better than they normally do. These are going to be done by doing these orange symbols on the map. We'll not be focusing on where to find these ones, as you'll bump into so many during your playthrough. Just know that this is something that you should be doing passively. And third, mastery points can always be reset when learning skills in a specific category, so feel free to unlearn mastery points in a certain skill tree and put it into another one to see what you'll like better, as we're going to unlock every type of legendary weapon for Yasuke in this video. And the fourth thing to keep note of is that all legendary chests that you'll be getting throughout this video are always going to be at Yasuke's current level in the game. Now, from the hideout, the first place we're going to go is still within Izumi Setsu, and I'm going to be taking you on a specific pathway. We're going to be going to the Yawata Plains to the Makino Kuromuzaka Kofun. Now, the waypoint to reach this is from the Bamboo Cutter's Watchtower, and then from there, you're just going to go north until you arrive at this specific place. If you've been previously here with Nawe, you'll notice that you can't do much of anything, since it requires you to carry explosives and move heavy objects with Yasuke, which is what he's good at, and he can blow these things up with his Teppo or the bow. And as you're going through this Kufan, you want to make sure that you're lighting up candles as you progress forward, so you know that you've previously revisited an area so you don't get lost. Most of the puzzles for Yasuke require you to blow things up inside or move the heavy objects in a way where you can climb on top of something and throw these explosives. Anyway, once you go through this entire place, make sure that you're also pressing down the observe button so you can see where the treasure is. You will eventually come across a legendary bow called the Blush of the Earth. What this is going to do is extend Clear Mind by 5 seconds. And if you're wondering what Clear Mind is, it's a knowledge level 2 skill that slows down time for you for 10 seconds while you're aiming with a bow. And this is going to add 5 more seconds onto it, which is going to bring you to a total of 15. Now, from this Kofun, we're going to make our way towards the northwestern area, all the way into the next region, which is known as Yamashiro. Now, Yamashiro is a level 10 area, and if it's higher than level 10, it's going to just be matching your current level. But by now in the game, you should be able to handle anything within this place. The first area that we're going to be heading towards, specifically inside of here, which is going to be this location inside of Yamashiro, the bottom left, the Eagle's Nest, and the closest waypoint to that is going to be by Shoryuji Tenshu. From there, we're going to move and make our way all the way towards the west, where eventually you'll arrive at a spot where a Kuji Kiri is. Once you're exactly in this area within the Eagle's Nest, you're then going to move west a little bit by this body of water, where you'll eventually find the first legendary weapon, which is the Turquoise Zephyr Long Katana, which upon successful parries are going to push nearby enemies back. And right after this, we'll actually be going after armor that helps with parrying. So let's move on to that. Now, from this area, we're then going to make our way back up north towards Kyoto area, which is also in Yamashiro. Now, within Kyoto, we're going to be able to find a specific location known as the Nijo Palace. Inside of here is where we will find our next piece. In order to do that, we're going to have to take out 2 Daisho, which will give us 2 mastery points in total. Once you eliminate the Daisho by using your observe mechanic and finding their icons and taking them out, you'll then be able to head towards a location to unlock the legendary chest, which will reward you with the Protector's armor. And the Protector's armor is going to allow you to parry unblockable attacks, meaning anytime an enemy attacks you and it glows red, you can actually parry that. Normally you can't and your character takes damage, but this makes Yasuke a little OP by being able to do that. Once you complete this, we're then going to go north, and you could follow along the road or go through the trees or forest, which is a little more annoying, and take this pathway all the way up here and then make a left where you'll arrive at a place known as the Grave of Buried Hopes. Now, once you arrive at this specific location, you're going to use the observe mechanic and look for the golden glow, which is going to lead you to your big treasure chest. Once you get to that chest, you'll see that it is a legendary one. Open that up and you'll find a Naginata there called the Rage of the Red Mist. Now, this one's really cool because every time you break an enemy's armor, which these weapons are really good for doing, it's going to give you 100% of an adrenaline chunk back. So if you plan on using this weapon, this is great for you in order to use your Naginata skills immediately after just beating up enemies. It's really OP. Now, once you get this legendary weapon, we're then going to make our way east towards Hanazono Castle. And this is all taking place inside of the region of Yamashiro, so you should have no problem being able to take out the enemies here. Now, in Hanazono Castle, there's also going to be 2 Daisho that you need to eliminate. Once you take them out, you'll head over to the legendary chest location, open that up, and you'll receive the Protector Helmet. Now, the Protector Helmet is going to deal 50% damage to the attacker on parry. So just straight away, you now have 3 items completely that are going to work in connectivity with each other when it comes to parrying. You're going to have a weapon that knocks enemies back after a successful parry. You're going to be able to parry any attack with the Protector's armor, and when you do the nice parry attack, it's going to be an extra 50% damage to the attacker upon the parry. So good stuff here. Now, before we continue on our pathway north to get more legendary gear, I want to tell you about these 2 amulets that you can get without defeating any enemies that are going to be to the east of Yamashiro. Feel free to come back to this after we do the pathway, but I do want to mention them right now. The first one is going to be located all the way east in Tamba in this specific area, right by this fast travel point, the Akura Shrine. And for these 2 chests, you don't have to defeat any enemies. Now, at the Akura Shrine, all you have to do is make your way down towards this water body that is going to be on the lower side. You'll then see that there is a kata orange symbol on your map. You can see this is what it looks like in the open water areas, and then you'll proceed further down towards this direction, which will be underneath a rock body. You'll see a little bit of wooden planks where a legendary chest will be. And when you open up this legendary chest, you'll get the item called Armor Eater, which is going to give you plus 15% to stats with a ranged weapon equipped. This is pretty nice. And you can grab this knowledge point as well while you're here with Yasuke. Now, the second one is going to be in Harima, in this area known as the Blackstone Cascades. And I would say the closest viewpoint is going to be this one right here at the border, Mount Sen. You just have to make your way all the way down the mountain until you arrive at the Blackstone Cascades. Now, when you arrive here at the Blackstone Cascades, you're going to notice that there is a waterfall. You're going to need Naui to specifically walk through this waterfall because she has to squeeze through the crevice, and that's where you'll find the legendary chest. Once you open this up, you'll get an amulet that is called Headhunter. Now, what this amulet does is give you a plus 15% to stats with only a long katana equipped. And we just picked up a long katana earlier, so this would work really well with that to boost up your stats even further. I just wanted to give you these 2 options. Now, let's get back to where we were. Now, from Hanazono Castle, you want to get your character to head as east as possible. So we're going to head all the way east until you arrive close to the water body. From there, you're going to find a road that follows along the water, and all you have to do is just follow this pathway all the way up, and you're going to take this road all the way up like this. We'll be passing by Omizo Castle, going over here, crossing over a bridge, and then you're going to turn left, continuing following this pathway until we arrive at this next location over here, where you'll see someone playing a musical instrument, but you'll be going behind the specific tree if you use your observe mechanic, and you'll find another legendary chest here. Now, in this legendary chest in the Omi region, you'll find a Teppo called the Patient Harbinger. This is going to allow you to chamber 2 bullets instead of 1. That means you get to shoot 2 times, because usually you shoot 1 shot and then he has to do an animation of reloading the gun and then shooting again, and sometimes usually 2 bullets is enough to take out an enemy. Now, from this area, we're going to head all the way towards the east side as we approach Lake Biwa. If for some reason you see a boat that you can Grand Theft Auto, go ahead and knock that person off or take over that boat. But if not, you will just be able to swim across Lake Biwa completely until you reach the other side. Once you reach the other side, you're gonna head over to this location called the Ibu Highlands, which may have skull enemies if you're not the proper level, because the Omi region is a level 18 area, so it might still be a little high level, but the Daisho here should be easy to take out. Now, this Daisho here is just one, and he's guarding a chest. So once you take out the Daisho in this exact fortress, you'll then be able to open up this legendary chest, which will give you the time-honored Crescent legendary Naginata, which is really interesting because this lets the first strike of this weapon make an enemy vulnerable every 8 seconds. That's a lot of open attacks once they're vulnerable. By completing this pathway and grabbing any of the optional amulets, you now have a really good setup with Yasuke with complete legendary gear that you can make even more powerful by upgrading your skills via the mastery. Let me know if you found anything cool. And now we got Yasuke overpowered.